Jamaicans should have a free access to all beaches. Have come out to stop us from going swimming, and they're carrying weapons, heavy weapons, against us. So the question we must ask ourselves: where do we stand in this nation when the police is being sent out against us on a peaceful protest just to swim? It is only to swim, and many of us can't swim. We're just going to dip in the water and walk on the sand. But the police is here with their loaded, well, I don't know loaded, but heavy weapons. Heavy weapons.
Look what they just did in Ochi. All the next people stars. They have stars there many years. They just go tear them up for what
because
reason?
today is
every other day in Kingston it happens.
In Jamaica.
Hello guys, welcome back again to the channel, and if you're new here, please don't forget to click the subscription button, and also you can comment, like and share the video. So into today's video, we are going to look at something serious that is happening in Jamaica right now, and for many people this is becoming more than just an environmental issue. It is becoming a conversation about identity, access, and who really gets to enjoy the country's natural space. Recently, there has been a growing public frustration over beach access, all access across parts of Jamaica. So I want us to watch this video and see the reasons why most of these Jamaican people that are being restricted to enter into the beach. Now watch this video until the end, then I'm going to come with a lot of comments later.
I'm on a run in Jamaica that I thought would have beautiful oceanfront views for the entire time. If you were to look on a map, it actually looks like I'm running on the coast, but instead this is all that I've seen. Just super high walls that are basically protecting the private property from everyone else, because 99% of oceanfront property in Jamaica has been privatized. This isn't true in every country. In a lot of the countries I've traveled to, it's actually illegal to own the beach. It has to be open to everybody. But in Jamaica, the vast majority of oceanfront land has been bought and basically taken away from the locals so that they can't enjoy it. You might be surprised because I've been walking along this street for at least 40 minutes and I haven't seen the beach once, even though I'm on the coast. And I was talking to some local kids a few nights ago walking down the road, and I asked them if they enjoyed going to the beach every day growing up in this beachside town, and they said they barely ever go because it's a 40-minute walk from their house, even though they technically live on the beach. So I just think this is interesting. It's not something that a lot of people who travel to Jamaica know about. They just go to their resort, they see the beach there, and then they take the airport, head to the airport and head out. But definitely, like, you would never know. Right here is the coastline, because they put up this huge wall so that nobody can see it. I think it's unnecessary. I thought I was going to be running along the beach all morning, but instead I still haven't seen the beach once. It's crazy.
Crystal, you can't believe this. All this may look fun right just right now. You see what I go on?
What?
Let me Bridget explain to you what the government and the people want to try to take this access from us. Tell them my you.
Enough people, Alex Mile Priest here. Thank you guys for this opportunity. This is the Blue Lagoon. We're currently sitting at the mineral spring here. This mineral spring, it flows from the Blue Mountains, a World Heritage Site. This is without a doubt possibly the most sacred water space, natural water space in Jamaica. And it is a declared national monument, and all these lovely trees that you see here are protected. They're not supposed to be cut in any way, shape or form. However, because of its natural beauty and its wonder, it's approximately 300 feet deep in the middle, and it's fed by about 33 springs. Most of them are underwater, which this is the only one you can see. Because of its natural beauty, because of its healing capabilities, private people, private business interests want to take it over. They want to turn it into a boutique spot, you know, for high-end clients, possibly a nice restaurant here, whatever. We are not anti-development. What we want is to ensure that the people of the land can always come here and enjoy themselves, and get the healing and just the recuperation that they need. So we have our next court date on the 29th of January this year, and we're not fighting the government, we're just letting them know we need access.
We need access, exactly.
We need access.
Exactly, and it's not just access, it's access for generations to come.
Generations
to come.
Rising generations.
Jamaicans should have a free access to all beaches. It is time to stop burying our heads in the sand and realize that pretty soon we will not be able to set foot in certain places in our own island, Jamaica. The public road, which has been used for generations of Portlanders, was closed August 2022 by the Portland Municipal Corporation. Access to the Blue Lagoon is now through a private land with no formal plan to extend free access beyond 2025. Please join with Portland Environmental Action and Jamaican Beach Birth Rights and Environmental Movement, JABEM, to demand unfettered public access along the Blue Hole Parochial Road for all time. This is to protect free public access to this important national monument. If you live in Portland, or if you can make it to Portland, please come and support continued public access to the Blue Lagoon in Portland, Jamaica at the Port Antonio Courthouse on March 25th at 9 a.m. If you have been following me for a while now, you must know that I'm very passionate about Jamaica and about our beaches. More importantly, I made a post about this when I was in the Cayman Islands, and I also followed the whole closure of the Blue Lagoon during last year. It is always baffling to me, the selective outrage about the lack of freeness of our beaches in Jamaica. It is very interesting to watch people agree and disagree with this matter. We do not need stretchers and showers at every single beach. What we need is to have free access to our own land, to our coastline. And as you can see here, the police has been sent to places such as the Lagoon Road. This road has been used for Portlanders for so many years and closed just for no reason whatsoever. And right now, come 2025, we don't know how persons are going to be able to access the Blue Lagoon. Don't come on the comment and tell me, say, people are drowned there, so, because whole heap of people are drowned over Bob Marley Beach and people drown everywhere. It is not the Blue Lagoon alone. And don't forget that there is still a fight going on to protect Bob Marley Beach, which is also going to be blocked off, which is also another landmark in Jamaica. Very important for our culture. Very important for what Jamaicans stand for. So Jamaicans, they wish me was there. I would have been in the airport Lancourt house a long time. From today, me would have been there. So, but me not there. So me I ask you, me I beg uno, please go support and go represent and stand up for your rights. Thank you so much for watching. Much love.
It was originally our beach. We were using all the beach. There was never a crowding issue at a beach. And now, through continued expansion, after expansion, we've always said what benefits Sandals benefits us. But now it is getting to the point where the greed of this organization is disenfranchising the communities. We will not give you our beaches. Look at it. Look at the size of Sandals Resort and the size on that map of what we have left. All that you see, continuing onwards, we had free access. I grew up accessing all the beach. Access. And with the development of that organization, we said, yay! And we cheered you on, we participated, we helped to build, and now look what we have left. Look, that little section, that is all we have left. And you are proposing to say, oh, guess what? I'll give you 50 jobs. 50 low-level skilled jobs, and you give us your beach, which we will never give you again. The only reason that they do not deny the gentlemen in the kayak is because they cannot rule the beach. And they try their best. They can't put their foot on the sand, you know. They have to stay in that little canoe and sell their wares. It is at the point now where this relationship, it is no longer a symbiotic in relationship. You are becoming a parasite.
This thing is going to affect the fishing industry, right? We tell them plain, I am not approving it. Anything Sandals want, Sandals get. That's the way it goes. Whether we say yes or no, if you say no, you must get it still. Even with this meeting, I am the president for the group, and I was never informed until Mr. Abdul called me last night and tell me about this meeting. And a customer of mine called me and tell me about this meeting. And we have a fishing group in White House, but apparently they don't want us to come to the meeting because they don't want our voice to be heard. We always have a good relationship with Mr. Stewart from the beginning. They break down bad, because this don't make no sense. That is a form of disrespect.
Until this matter is settled, the community will continue to use its beach. And as was the case in some other areas, we will not allow for under any circumstance, any fencing of this property to happen. I'm making it unequivocally clear, no, that we will not, because we know what our rights are, and we will not allow for any fencing of the property to take place. People are watching it around the clock, and if there are attempts to do that, we are going to remove it, because we know what will happen when it's fenced, or access will be restricted until this is resolved, and we know the time it will take to resolve this, and we know that concurrently in other instances where these things are being resolved, other things are happening that will further distance us away from having access to our beach.
I'm not sure if this assessment that looks at, moss and seagrass, I know it's very, very relevant, but I'm wondering if there's another type of assessment that is necessary to help us to determine how families and community and family life is going to be impacted by this project. Now, NEPA might not be the relevant agency to take on that piece of the evaluation or the assessment, but maybe we need to be partnering wider to find out which other government entities need to be brought on board to help us really begin to understand what is the impact of having this project in our community. Not just how it's going to impact our coral and our climate change and our mangroves, but how is it going to impact families? How is it going to impact children? How is it going to impact the fishermen? How is it going to impact access to fish and shrimp and all the other pieces that does not seem to be adequately captured in this assessment?
Residents around the community and around Jamaica have a beach problem, and they want to access the beach where they're returning residents with their friends and family, neighboring community, and that's a problem. So we need to get the relevant authority that can answer the question that the community has to ask straightforward.
Intend, as per Sandals' track record of locking off sections of the coastline from the general public, if this is an exception to that or not.
Do we have a Sandals representative who is designated to speak this evening? I am not sure. This is really to look at the environmental impact assessment, and that is why Mr. Carroll is actually on stage with me. There's a young lady in the front with the microphone, but I believe...
No, there is not. At the beginning of the problem right here, 1956, and we want to talk about the Beach Control Act of 1956. This is a Jamaican law which is an instrument of repression for the Jamaican masses. So this law here is a law which facilitates and continues to support social exclusion of the masses of the Jamaican people. And why do we say social exclusion? Because it explicitly states that the Jamaican citizen has no inherent right of access to the foreshore, to the high water mark of the Jamaican beaches. Meaning that you and I that think we have a right to access these beaches and these rivers don't really have that right. So this instrument of social exclusion, what it does is not just social exclusion, but it creates a wealth shield. It creates an instrument of wealth for those who have property. And when you have social exclusion and instruments of wealth for a minority, so social exclusion for the masses, instruments of wealth for the minority, then you create poverty. It's a wealth which is predicated on the impoverishment of the masses. not on hard work, not on creativity, not on any kind of thinking. But what is happening is the durability of slavery, my friend. 1956 preserved the durability of colonialism and enslavement, enshrines it into law and social practice. And that extension of law and social practice sustains the colonial existence and the colonial arrangement that allows for the problems that we have in Jamaica right now. So you see all this crime that we have in Jamaica right now, all these social problems that we have in Jamaica right now, it's not exactly your fault. This is built to the Jamaican cake. And in this cake, 95% of the masses have no slice. We have to settle for the crumbs. Within these practices are corruption. Within these practices are social exclusion. Within this practice, look, it's literally discrimination enshrined into law. And we're here today at the Blue Lagoon to say, stop. This must end. We Jabem and many people in Jamaica have been at it. And you know what, we're going to continue. So as long as there's discrimination, as long as there's social exclusion, as long as a 1% in Jamaica decide that the rest of us are not humans and we don't deserve nice things, you will have problems and we will be at you. We have the court case on Monday in the Portland Parish Court, and we have other cases in court. We have the Little Dunch River case in court, we have the Marley Bay case in court, we have the Bob Marley Beach in court, and we will go for many more.
And well-being.
The Crown of England owns the beaches in Jamaica. So
all of Jamaica.
All of Jamaica.
So we don't have a public beach.
We don't have a beach. You are granted permission through the Prime Minister's office. So you have the permission to use it, and that permission can be revoked. As the situation is evolving in Flankers Providence Beach at this time, where they just choose a developer and dispossess the person.
So all these...
Right here. Is that the land that they own?
Yes, you own the land.
Where you find that money? Because it's the first I hear anything.
That's the 1956 Beach Control Act. That is currently still the laws on the books right now, as it pertains to engaging the beach.
And that book has roots. That book is still that's a book from the UK, from England, right?
You're asking about the law?
Yeah.
Yes,
that's rooted in the laws in England.
We should be able to use our beaches. We are a beach community. We are beach people. We're a small island surrounded by water.
Jamaicans can no longer access their own beaches.
This is where they work. Say they don't have a other job. They don't have nothing else to turn to.
Tourists can pay for exclusive access to beaches at all-inclusive resorts, but everyday Jamaicans are increasingly being blocked out of them.
When you push a fisherman from a beach, where did you want him to go? We are living in between waters and we have no access to a beach.
Some Jamaicans are organizing to take down the colonial-era land laws that still affect them today.
Jamaican came into emancipation landless and homeless, and that problem have not changed in Jamaica.
And they're suing companies for cutting off their access to the beaches.
And we also will not stop until the entire Jamaican public is able to access the beach freely.
Jamaicans demand access to the nation's beaches.
No right. According to the Beach Control Act of 1956, a legislation that was passed in the Parliament of Jamaica when Jamaica was not an independent nation. 1962, we became independent. This law was passed in 1956. It has been 69 years since a legislation exists on the books in Jamaica that says we, the people of Jamaica, have no right to the beaches. It says the beaches are property of the crown, and no man shall have any right in or over the foreshore and the floor of the sea. It translates into we don't have the right to swim, we don't have the right to bathe, we don't have the right to fish, and we don't have the right to walk along the foreshore. That is a law in Jamaica, believe it or not. And that's what we are protesting against. That we, the people, cannot live in a democratic country where we don't have the right to access the sea and use the sea.
Did you know that over 99% of Jamaica's beautiful coastline is inaccessible to Jamaicans because of British colonial law? I'm here with members of Javan who will be talking to you about what you can do to help this issue.
We need some justice. Tourists boycott hotels in Jamaica that does not allow Jamaicans to access the beaches. Jamaicans in Jamaica support Jabem's protest.
Push your MP to support repealing and replacing the Beach Control Act of 1956 and ensuring Jamaicans have rights to access their beaches.
Come to the court to support court actions to protect the beaches in Jamaica.
Share this video. Beach access is a human right.
Hope you have seen that video and you have seen the way a lot of Jamaicans they are coming out demonstrating and striking about this issue about accessing the beach. According to the activists and the people speaking out online, more oceanfront oceans are becoming privately controlled, and many locals feel like places that were once open to communities are becoming harder to access. In some few weeks ago, I did a video that we had the same issue. There was a white person who had traveled to come and enjoy in Jamaica. So since she was in Jamaica, she decided to invite her friend over so that they can come and enjoy together. But when this friend of hers came to the beach, she was denied the entry since because she was a black. So you can see this is an issue that has been going over and over in Jamaica. So the discussion becomes more louder because of what is happening at Blue Lagoon in Portland. For many Jamaicans, Blue Lagoon is not just another tourist attraction. It is it represents memories, culture, local tradition, and a connection to the sea. Now, critics and activists say they are worried about changes around the area that could affect long-standing public access routes. Groups such as JABM, Jamaican Beach Birth Rights and environmental movements have become more visible in the conversation. Supporters say they are trying to protect public access and make sure beaches remain available for future generation. But this is completely insane. How can you preserve something that is not going to end and say that you want to preserve it for future generation? That is crazy, because what I know is that a beach is a public space and it should be enjoyed by everyone, because that is not something that is going to end very soon. It is something that it will remain there forever, and it's something that also people from different countries come to enjoy. So how can you say that it's something that you can just preserve it for the future generation? One of the biggest concern raised in this is more coastal areas become more private. What happens to local fishermen? You know, these fishermen, they depend on this ocean also because they want to go and fish. That is where they get their daily meal. That is where they go, they fish, and also they can go and sell those fishes so that they can be able to raise money, and that money they can be able also to pay that money to maybe their students or children who are in school. What happens to families that have used this space for years? Where are they going? You know, those are the kind of question you should be asking. Where are these people, families who have been using this space for these many years are going to go? Because, you know, a beach, that is where most of the people are going to do their businesses. So what happens to communities that see these places as part of everyday life, not luxury destination? Because we have been having a lot of people also, that is where they go and sell their goods to these tourists who usually come. If they are going to be denied this access to the beach simply because these people are saying that they want to protect it for the future generation or preserve it for the future generation. So you see, it is something that people from that area, the locals, they are not going to allow it because that beach belongs to them. It is a public space. Another issue being discussed is Jamaica's Beach Control Act of 1956. Critics argue that this law reflects an older system that gives too much control over coastal space, and it does not fully protect public access. Supporters of reform believe that law should be reviewed or updated to reflect modern realities, but not everyone agrees. Some people argue that private investment create jobs, improve our infrastructure, attract tourism, and boost economic growth. Tell me, what do you think about this? Supporters of development say investment can benefit local communities if it is managed properly. So the debate becomes complicated. This is not simply public versus private. You know, even if you come to my country, you cannot just be denied access to the beach simply because they are coming out with this argument that they want to preserve this beach for the next generation. No, that is something that could not never happen in my country, because that is where most of the people usually like traveling to. That is a place most of the people want to go and they enjoy after a long working hours, or after working for long months without having a break. That is where most of the people go so that they can raise money, so that they can sustain their life in the city, because most of the tourists that they usually come to that place each and every day. So there's no way you can control people from my country not to access the country. The only time you'll deny them maybe is the only thing that you can deny them maybe is to go and use the boats, because those boats you must pay for them in order for you to ride on them. So also those people who use those boats, they are earning. Who give those boats to those people who usually want to ride, they're also earning. So this is something that helps people to sustain their lives. So the debate becomes complicated. This is not simply public versus private. Many people are asking, can development happen while still protecting public access? Can tourism grow without making local feel excluded? Can beach remain both economically valuable and publicly meaningful? The conversation has also expanded into wider criticism of government decision. Some citizens feel that leaders are prioritizing foreign investment too heavily, while others believe development projects are necessarily for Jamaican's economy. This disagreement shows how emotional and important this issue has become, because for many Jamaicans, this discussion is no longer only about land. It is about accessing the beach. Otherwise, tell me, what do you think about this issue about accessing the beach? And if you have ever been denied, if you are in Jamaica, and if you have ever been denied the access to the beach, and what did you do? So, thanks for watching. Until the next one.